Happy Tuesday from Houston, Texas. Welcome to Stellar Parenting. I'm your host, Brandi. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and I also hold a Master of Science degree in psychology with an emphasis in child and adolescent development. And I'm super passionate about helping parents, teachers, guardians learn how to mix the magic of the stars and the planets with the art of consciously raising children. You can find me at brandicon.com. And I also invite you to join my Facebook group, Psychology Infused Astrology. Within that group, I keep you up to date on all of the latest astrology with some free trainings. And you could also sign the list and be a caller on the show. So please join. So for today's show, we've got quite a bit in store. I'm excited. We're going to talk about the transits for this week. And I'm also going to share with you some insights that I have about Pluto being in the sign of Aquarius and how we are already seeing that manifest within the collective. And you don't want to miss that. It's going to be really good. So stay tuned for that. And then at the end, we will have a caller. So if you would like a short astrology or tarot reading, please call into the show. I'd love to hear from you. So let's start with the transits. Transits for this week. So today is December 10th. On Thursday, December 12th, we will have Venus, 5 degrees of Aquarius, opposite Mars, retrograde, 5 degrees of Leo. So in astrology, Venus is the planet of pleasure, the planet of beauty. She shows how we relate to other people. And then with Mars, Mars represents action, energy, initiative, how we assert ourselves. So we will have these two in a very tense aspect. They will be opposite each other, kind of like facing off with each other. And so you might feel some friction when it comes to your relationships or maybe friendships, or even how you approach enjoyment and pleasure in your life. So there might be this push or pull energy between something that you want to do versus maybe something that your partner wants to do, or something that your friends want to do. We might really feel this within our relationships with other people. And so the key for this transit is allowing both of these energies to exist, to coexist peacefully with each other. So what that means is ask yourself, can I relate to others in a healthy way while at the same time maintaining my own sense of independence? Can I do that? Am I able to compromise with other people? And as parents, you might even want to remind your children of this week, okay? You might want to remind them that, sometimes we have to compromise with those around us. We have to come to an agreement. We have to work together. So there may be some compromises that need to be made, your children and their friends. But yet at the same time, we want to make sure that they are speaking up for themselves. So allowing the energy of Mars and at the same time allowing that energy of Venus within our friendships. And then for Friday, December 13th, we will have Mercury retrograde at 6 degrees of Sagittarius, sextiling Venus 6 degrees of Aquarius. So as you know, in astrology, Mercury is the planet of communication. Okay. And then with Venus, again, we have the planet of pleasure, beauty, how I relate to others. Okay. So during this transit, this harmonious aspect between Mercury and Venus, you might have this beautiful finesse when it comes to communication and when it comes to how you use your words. So if you've been having some trouble over the last few weeks with Mercury retrograde, let's say, for example, maybe there's been a lot of miscommunication. Maybe you feel misunderstood. Maybe those around you feel a little misunderstood. Venus will be able to soften things up for you during this transit on Friday. So you'll have the opportunity to repair any misunderstandings, miscommunications, hurt feelings through dialogue. or through conversation, okay, in a very, very healing way. This is also an excellent transit for anything that's creative or artistic. So if you have a child, perhaps your child is in choir, and maybe this weekend they are going to be performing Christmas carols. It's beautiful, beautiful transit for that. Or maybe you have a child that plays an instrument in the band, and this weekend maybe they're giving a Christmas concert. Okay, beautiful for something like that. Also, art as well. So during this transit on Friday, Mercury sextile Venus, it's a really good time to smooth out any rough edges between you and anybody that you've had difficulty with over the last few weeks. And that could be your child. Maybe there have been difficult conversations. Maybe they feel misunderstood. Maybe you might feel misunderstood. So Friday's a good day to really come to the table and open your mind and heart to understand the other person. And more than likely, you will have an impact with Venus here helping you in Aquarius. Or let's say, for example, you have a child, and over the last few weeks, Mercury retrograde has taken a toll on them with their friendships, right? So this might be the day that we can kind of gently nudge them and support them and encourage them, and to use this transit for repair. Use this transit to have a conversation with anyone where there may have been a misunderstanding. Okay, and then Sunday, December 15th, big day, we will have a full moon in the sign of Gemini. So Gemini is an air sign that has a psychological need for information, for facts, knowledge, and communication. And with a full moon, everything's illuminated. So full moons can bring really big insights, a lot of clarity, a lot of illumination around certain areas. And generally during a full moon, emotions are very, very heightened. And it's really going to be that way on Sunday. Why? Well, because we have the planet Jupiter that will be only 8 degrees away from this full moon. And whatever Jupiter touches, he makes it grow and expand. So this might be very emotionally intense for some people, especially if you've got other planets in your chart or angles that are aspected by this full moon. So in a general area, there may be information that comes out around the time of the full moon in your life, or maybe for the collective. And why? Why would that be? Well, the full moon is in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is ruled by the planet Mercury, okay? And Mercury will be coming out of retrograde on Sunday and stationing direct in the sign of Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is a fire sign, and there's a psychological need with Sagittarius for truth, for honesty, for purpose, for meaning, for justice. So maybe there's something that will be cycling in the news, who knows, on around Sunday. So what's also interesting about this full moon is that we'll be squaring Neptune. All right, so Neptune in astrology, that's the planet of transcendence, transcending duality, infinite love, surrender, unity, imagination, and dreams, okay? But this will be a tense aspect. So with Neptune in a tense aspect to this moon, sensitivity might be even more heightened. Remember, we've already got Jupiter that's going to be playing this magnification role, and Neptune might be doing the same. Okay, there might be less clarity, there might be disappointment around something, or you might feel the need to release something that you've been carrying and that you don't want to take into the new year anymore. Okay, so this might be a very emotional day, especially again if you or your child, if you've got planets or angles that will be impacted by this full moon. So I remind you to be gentle with yourselves and be gentle with your precious children. Because children a lot of times feel these energies a lot stronger than adults. They're very sensitive to them. So if you've got a child that's just a little bit cranky or whiny on Sunday, keep that in mind, that maybe they're feeling the effects of the full moon, and show them some grace. All right, so those are the transits for this week. Now I'm going to jump over into some mundane astrology where I'm talking about world events and Pluto in Aquarius. So if you've been listening to my show, you will remember on November 19th, I mentioned that Pluto was going to move into Aquarius for the next 20 years. I also mentioned about how the last time Pluto was in Aquarius has been 240 years ago. And during that time, 240 years ago, when Pluto was in that sign, we had the American Revolution, the French Revolution, and the Haitian Revolution. Okay, so people took their power back from those at the top. So one of the major themes with Pluto and Aquarius is power to the people. And I'm not sure if you're noticing, but I'm seeing how it's playing out, and it's so interesting right now. So on Sunday, the Syrian government was overtaken by rebels, and Bashar al-Assad and his family fled the country. Now, they've been experiencing civil war in Syria since 2011. They've been trying to overthrow him for the last 13 years. But this time it happened in less than 2 weeks. Why? It's all about timing. And a few weeks ago, we had Pluto move into the sign of Aquarius. So with this shift, there's a little more energy in the powers with the people, not so much those at the top who may be abusing their power or misusing their power. Then again, I'm watching, and I'm mentioning this very objectively, the tragic assassination of the CEO of United Healthcare, and it's been interesting to see online, reading comments, how people are really kind of angry with insurance companies. Many people believe that when it comes to insurance companies, those at the top have been benefiting and disenfranchising the people at the bottom. Okay. And so knowing what I know as an astrologer about the background of Pluto and Aquarius, seeing all of this play out, I'm like, wow, I never would have imagined that I would see these types of events once this planet moved into this sign. And here in the United States, there's been a lot of talk by President-elect Donald Trump about tariffs, and how once he gets into office, he will enact tariffs on imports. And so what that will do, that will pass on some higher prices to consumers here in this country. And this is an area that President Trump will need to handle with a lot of very, very delicately, very gently. And why am I saying that? I want you to think about the American Revolution. What was the problem during the American Revolution? Well, a lot of the colonists were upset about taxation without representation. They were upset about the tax on tea. They were upset about the Stamp Act, right? And they didn't want to stand for it anymore. Think about the French Revolution. The people were starving. They were very angry with Marie Antoinette and her extravagant lifestyle. Okay? And so they removed her from power. So when we're thinking about these themes that we've seen before historically, when Pluto was in the sign of Aquarius, and we think about what's happening right now, our government leaders need to make sure that what they are doing is for the people. Make sure it's for the average working American. If not, we might have some people who are very upset, people who feel disenfranchised, people who feel unfairly treated. So we really want to make sure that government officials, that action taken right now is taken with those at the bottom, those who really need the help. Think about what you do and enact policies to help everyone, not just those up at the top 1%. Okay, also remember with Pluto and Aquarius, we talked about unidentified aerial phenomena. All right, and oh my goodness, I have been amazed at how much information is coming forth. I'm not sure if you guys are on social media, but I get on TikTok, and I'm almost every day I'm seeing videos of people who, with their phones are taking these videos of these, what in the United States they're calling here drones in the air, and nobody knows what they are. So this morning on the news, they were talking about how there's been many, many sightings over the last few weeks in northern New Jersey. And they're saying that these drones, so to speak, one of them was the size of a small school bus, but local officials have no idea what they are. They've called on the federal government. The FBI is investigating, and everyone's trying to figure out, okay, what's going on? What are we not being told? And I knew that when Pluto went into Aquarius, there would be more disclosure about other life forms, about maybe what our government knows that's kind of been kept secret from us. I just did not think that it would happen this quickly and to this magnitude so early into Pluto in Aquarius. It's absolutely amazing to me, and I'm very excited by it because as a Gemini rising, I love to know. I want to know, what's going on? What do you guys know that we don't? What does the government need to tell us? So as we get deeper into Pluto being in the sign of Aquarius, look for more information to come out about that, about these unidentified aerial phenomena. And that's all the mundane astrology today. And always try to make the connection with what you're seeing in the world and external events with what we know that's happening with the stars and the planets. It's absolutely amazing how what we're seeing cosmically can be mirrored here within our daily life and the events that are happening. So always keep that in mind. And with that, let's go to our caller. I think we've got Carol from Indiana. Hi, Carol. How are you?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for joining. So tell me, would you like an astrology reading or tarot?
Astrology reading, please. I know the exact time and minute I was born.
Oh, wonderful. I love that. I love when people know the exact time. So give me your date of birth, please.
December 25th, 1968.
Christmas, okay.
Yes, it's 12:37 p.m.
Okay.
And I was born in Chicago Heights, Illinois.
Chicago Heights. Let's take a look. And have you ever had an astrology reading before? Or do you understand anything about your natal chart?
I'm dabbling into that. I've got a picture of it, and I've been reading. I got an app on my phone, and I'm starting to learn. I know there's a lot of stuff to learn. I'm just dabbling into that right now.
Yeah, but it always starts with the first step. So that's really good for you. And understanding your natal chart is one of the best ways to really come to an appreciation of who you are as a person and who you're meant to be here. Okay, so let me just make sure we've got Chicago Heights. And calculate, and let's see what we've got. Oh, wow. So you've got quite a few planets in the 12th house. Sun is in Capricorn, and you're in Aries rising. So just let me take a look here. And one of the first things, oh, wow. Okay, yeah. One of the first things that stands out to me, so you've got the sun and the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is an earth sign. Capricorn can be very grounded, and you also have Mercury in Capricorn as well. Very grounded, very pragmatic, and very focused on achieving or work or leaving a legacy behind. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah, because you've got, your beautiful sun in the 9th house of higher learning, wisdom, higher thought, belief, and then Mercury is conjunct your midheaven. So in some way, your career or your work here has something to do with sharing a message or communicating and sharing knowledge with others. Does that resonate for you?
Oh, yes, definitely.
Okay, great. Now, what I absolutely love, you've got your sun in a tense aspect to the planet Uranus. Okay, he's square 90 degrees. That's a difficult angle. So, whenever I see someone with sun square Uranus, many times this is a person growing up who felt a little different, and
Oh yeah.
others may thought you were different. You may have stuck out like a sore thumb. Do you understand that?
Oh yes, yes. Very
Yes, yeah,
sensitive. Yeah.
yeah. And even now, how do you feel? Do you feel still a little different?
I've got come to terms with it because I pick up on other people's thoughts and feelings, and I've learned how to distinguish them from my own, to not let certain people and energies of person, places, or things affect me. And now that I'm 56 years old, I've almost got it mastered. But when I was a child, I grew up with a lot of things affecting me. I saw spirits, and
Yeah.
I was sensitive. Yeah, but I've learned to use it as a gift now in my older age.
Wonderful. I love that, Carol. I love that for you. And just like you, I've got Sun square Uranus, and I know that I didn't get the lesson until later in life. So, and I'm speaking to you with this lesson. One of the main
Yes.
things I want you to remember is you're not here to fit in. Okay, you're not here to fit in with
Oh
anybody
no,
else.
not at all. No, no, I'm a
You're here,
loner. I don't have
yeah.
any friends. Right.
Well, yeah, and you're kind of here to do your own thing, and other people might think that what you're interested in is a little weird or it's different, right?
Right.
And
Right. They do. Yeah.
like, a lot of times with that sun square the planet Uranus, a lot of astrologers call that type of aspect um, like the aspect of the rebel or the revolutionary, the seed planter. So it's almost as if your ideas, your thoughts, what you're interested in may be a little bit ahead of mainstream. You may
No,
have
not at
noticed that.
all. I do a lot of research on the news that didn't make the news. What's really going on in the world behind the scenes from all kinds of things that most
Okay,
people are not interested in at all. Yeah.
right, right. Now, I want to talk about your moon. Your moon is in Pisces. So, so, so sensitive. The moon is about your feelings and your emotions. And when we take the moon and we put her in the really sensitive sign of Pisces, oh, it's almost like you're a psychic sponge or an energetic sponge.
Oh
So,
yeah.
yeah, I know you mentioned about picking up the energy from others. And with that Pisces moon, that really amplifies that. You understand?
Oh yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Sometimes I still struggle with that. I use crystals to help ground me from other people, so that I have to work with the public. So I have
Right.
to put shield and ground myself before I go out into the world. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you've got, your moon, and then your moon, we got moon, Chiron, North Node, and Saturn all in the 12th house. And when I see someone with a chart like yours, especially like with, the sun or moon in the 12th, again, if you see something in a chart one time, it's a possibility. Two times, it's a probability. Three times, it's a sure thing. And I'm seeing all kind of clues in your chart that you are highly sensitive. So people with, these placements in the 12th, I always tell my clients, take time for yourself. Make sure that you're
Oh,
taking time to ground your energy every day, to make sure that you're not carrying other people's stuff, right?
right,
And that you're
right.
feeling in your own energy field. Like there's a high level of sensitivity that comes. And Moon, Chiron, North Node in the 12th, there's also a tremendous amount of psychic ability, intuitive ability, mediumistic ability. You understand that?
Yeah, yes, yes. I have my premonition dreams, and I sense things where they happen. Always have.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll have a dream, and then it'll happen. Yeah.
Yeah. And so the 12th house is the house of dreams. And with all of those planets, I'm like, wow. So, yeah, you want to make sure that you've got a dream journal, that you're writing down what comes through in your dreams, because
Yeah.
you probably receive quite a bit of information through your dreams. Now, what's
Oh
interesting
yeah.
is
I'll go to bed with a question and wake up with an answer. Yes.
wow. I love it. I love that, Carol. Love it. And you've
Because
got
I read a book about 2 inches thick on just dream interpretation, because a lot of times it's just metaphors and it's hard to interpret dreams. And I read a huge book on it, so I pretty much know how to interpret my dreams.
Oh, okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. Very good. You do have Moon opposite Pluto. And when we've got oppositions, we want to make sure that we are allowing expression from both planets. So Moon in the 12th, that's that sensitive, intuitive part of you. And when we've got Pluto in the 6th, this is the person that's really concerned with day-to-day routine, being practical, being empowered through how they work in the physical world, okay? So what we want to make sure that we're doing, we want to make sure instead of using these like a seesaw, or identifying with one planet and then the other one at another time and crisscrossing, that we allow them both to express themselves equally. So you can have this wonderfully gifted, intuitive knowing, and you receive information through dreams, and you're very psychically, you've got a lot of psychic potential, but then also don't forget about day-to-day life, your routine. Make sure that you are eating at consistent times. Make sure that you feel grounded within, your reality now. And we can allow for both of these to work together instead of against each other. Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Very good, very good. And one other thing I wanted to mention with that Aries rising. So you are Aries rising, and then we've got Mars in Libra. So, the whole thing with your rising sign, with Aries rising, people might, Aries is a fire sign, and Aries is all about initiating and starting and blazing a trail. And has anyone ever told you that they really see you like as an action taker or a go-getter?
Oh yeah. Because I have a lot of energy. I have more energy than most people, and I get more done than most people. And I just, the Aries part of me can be a little rebellious, and I am a leader. If somebody steps on my toes, watch out, they will know it. I don't. That's
okay. Yeah. Very nice. Well, very nice, Carol. I really enjoyed doing this for you. We only have a few seconds left. So I will thank you for coming on, and I hope you have a fabulous week. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a Merry Christmas.
Thanks, you too. And thank you all listeners. I just want to remind you, the stars may guide us, but we hold the power ultimately to shape our own destinies. So keep shining your light. Keep shining bright, keep radiating, and I'll see you back here again next week. Have a good week.